Well, the visiting team is playoff bound. In fact, the Ducks have a chance to take over first place from San Jose in the Pacific Division tonight, while the home team, the Canucks, are on life support, and they're hoping to stay there. Rick Ball and Kelly Rudy are in the broadcast booth. Rick.
Thank you, Scott. Canucks 7 games left, 6 at home, and almost no room for errors. We check the starting goalies tonight. Frederik Andersen, the 24-year-old, has been perfect against the Canucks this year. 2-0 against Vancouver with a sparkling 1.0 goals against, .971 save percentage. He's also 5-0 in the second half of back-to-backs this season. Eddie Lack making his 16th consecutive start for the Canucks. He's been a workhorse since the trade of Roberto Luongo, with a game over 500 record on the season. The officials tonight, your referees are Mike Lego and Eric Furlat. Linesmen are Darren Gibbs and Mark Schuchik. As we get set at center ice, Ryan Kesler between Chris Higgins and Alex Burrows for the Vancouver Canucks. The top line against the top line. It's Getzlaf, Perry, and Nick Bonino, who's having a career year, has never had more than 5 goals in a season. 19 this year, and getting a chance to play again tonight with Perry and Getzlaf. Both these teams coming off overtime losses. The Canucks on Thursday in Colorado. Anaheim last night against the Oilers, despite 51 shots in that game. For the Ducks, Ben Scrivens was great. And we're underway in Vancouver as Lovejoy controls the puck for the Ducks. Hard up off the boards, right on goal, so no icing. And Lack's forced to cover up as Getzlaf approaches the goal.
Well, we're going to see if Anaheim has the same sort of jump that they had last night, because they sure played awfully well, even though they lost 4-3 in overtime. Andrew Ferentz goal, and Bruce Boudreau was in a good mood this morning when we spoke to him about his team, and really raving about his great centerman, Ryan Getzlaf, and why wouldn't you?
He's got 2 of the best up front, Getzlaf and Perry on a tear, and he really wants to see Bonino work with those guys and, you know, see if he can settle in and be a regular on the wing. They haven't found that guy yet, especially since Dustin Penner was kind of playing in that role, was traded.
Most coaches like pairs, I'll tell you that.
Especially when the pair is Getzlaf and Perry. I'd like that too. Here's Garrison deep in his own zone, plays the puck up the boards. There's the rookie, Nick Jensen, got it to the line, but not out. Kept onside there by Spiza. Garrison gets it back and finds Daniel Sedin at center ice, but it hopped over his stick, and this is going to go as an icing call against Vancouver.
Talked about all the work with Eddie Lack, and pretty good save here. Point shot. I thought I could hear a deflection along the way, so he just put himself in good position. Here, just lofted. Yeah, it kind of went through traffic, and not sure if it hit Hamhuis or Silverberg in front, but good positioning by Lack.
Canucks got Jacob Markstrom back in the trade of Luongo to Florida. He's seen 1 game in relief. That was in a loss to Dallas, and that's been it. It's been Lack all the way, and he might get tested here again as the chance for Perry is stopped by Lack. Got a blocker on that one as Perry wristed one from the slot. Another nice stop for Eddie Lack. And here's Daniel Sedin taking a bump at center ice. Robidas steps into him. Canucks start a change. Getzlaf lead pass for Perry. Works it down the wing. Throws it out front for Bonino with a spinorama. And he shot it wide as he was knocked down by Edler. Alex Burrows gets the loose puck ahead to Kesler. Wheels through center. Ryan Kesler. Checked by Allen, gets a pass to Burrows, threw it out front, that deflects. Never got through to Bieksa, who was waiting on the other side. Perry's able to clear. Racing onto it is Maroon with a shot. That goes off a stick in behind the net. Kevin Bieksa works it ahead, out to center ice. Kesler can't reach it. That a rush broken up. Alex Edler back near his own blue line. Lead pass to Higgins. Trying to get around Botten, and Higgins throws a check in the corner. Richardson comes in to help, but the Ducks wind up with control, and Matthew Perreault gets the puck to center ice to Maroon. He's checked by Edler. Weber's pass deflects off a skate back into the Vancouver zone. Edler feeds it ahead. Richardson at center ice. He's out there with Kassian and Booth, and they've been on a tear of late. Brad Richardson over the line. Here comes Kassian down the wing. 3-game point streak for him. 6 points in that stretch. Stanton back at the line. Gets it across to Weber with a wrist shot towards the goal, and that went off the foot of Lovejoy wide into the corner. Penalty coming up. Looks like Booth's going off as Stanton gets the puck. They don't blow it dead, so play continues. Could be a 2-on-1. Bolesky down the wing, throws it out front, off the outside of the post. Lack down, puck still loose. Winnick got the shot away, but hit the iron, and finally the Canucks touch the puck. Anaheim will get the first power play early in this one.
There was a puck battle into the corner to the left of Anderson. You're going to see Booth just got a little bit too aggressive. Right there, and Raquel. And then the beautiful pass right there, saucer pass. Winnick can't bury that. A pretty tough angle though. This one, Bolesky finally gets it to him, but Lack took away most of the net anyways.
Booth off for hooking at the 2:34 mark. That penalty on Vancouver. So Anaheim's power play with an early opportunity here. Comes into the game 20th in the league at 16.5%. Canucks have the 9th best penalty kill, 83.7%.
Hard to imagine that power play, 20th in the league.
Especially when you factor in the Ducks are the second highest scoring team overall in the league. You'd think they'd get more success with the man advantage. You're right, Kelly, as the Canucks fire it down the ice. Botman back to it, leaves the puck in the corner for Corey Perry. He'll circle the net as Higgins retreats. Sammy Botman works the puck to the line. Now Getzlaf through center. Maroon down the wing. Garrison watching him as they go to the corner. Puck goes behind the net. Fed back to the line by Perreault. Botman feeds it over to Getzlaf. Botman, Perreault top of the circle out front to Perry with a shot. That went off Maroon wide of the goal. Getzlaf to the line. Sammy Botman. Matthew Perreault. Lost it for a second. Has it back along the boards. Higgins converges. So does Hamhuis. Puck behind the net for Maroon. Checked by Garrison. Getzlaf chases after it in the corner, but gave it away to Higgins. Chris Higgins takes his time. Works the puck out. And carries all the way down the ice himself. Gets the puck out front for a short-handed chance. Richardson cuts on goal. Jams it on net. Anderson down, able to cover up, and the Canucks with a great short-handed chance. Brad Richardson looking for his third shorty of the year. Stopped by Frederik Andersen.
It's all because of Higgins, though, and his patience right here. 1-on-3, and the Ducks sort of give up on him. They think that, okay, this is a dead rush right here. And Richardson comes off the bench and gets a great chance, and Anderson leans behind himself and gets that stick, the paddle on the stick right there. My, is that a desperation save? Terrific effort by Anderson. I guess that tells us why he's 16-5 on the year as a backup. 16 wins.
As you always say, Kelly, there's technique and being in the right position and form, but when it comes right down to it, whatever you have to do to make the save. And that's what Anderson did there on a great chance for the Canucks.
Well, they honored a pretty good goalie in Buffalo this weekend, Dominik Hasek, and he was known for that, never giving up. And for good reason, he was being honored.
Yeah, pretty good, the understatement of the year.
Yeah.
Dominik had with 6 Vezina trophies. Just remarkable.
Yep.
20 seconds left in the power play. Scoreless game just past the 4-minute mark, and there's Sean Mathias. We'll be joining Kelly on After Hours along with Scott Oath tonight. Teemu Selanne as well, who's not dressed tonight. They're giving the 43-year-old a break on back-to-back games.
We've had some good guests on After Hours recently.
Penalty over. Booth out of the box. No shots on goal. In fact, the best scoring chance was shorthanded for the Canucks, and Booth takes the puck. He'll work it out. Cross-ice pass blocked by Koivu. Dumped in by Booth. Yannick Hansen, the forecheck, hits Lovejoy in the corner. Ducks get it to the line. Cogliano feeds it ahead out to center ice. Lovejoy races onto it. Drop pass. Silverberg. Lovejoy to the corner to Koivu out front of the goal. Nobody home. Taken away easily by Yannick Weber. Ahead to Yannick Hansen, but he can't handle the pass, and this is going to go down the ice for icing on Vancouver.
Talked about Frederik Andersen and his numbers 16-5. 226 goals against average, 924 save percentage. Is this all about focus and preparation or what? Going through all his visualization, and then just prior to taking the last part of the warm-up, just a little bit of stick handling and making sure that every little part of his game is in order. And boy, is he ever having a wonderful season.
Ducks have had a real nice touch in terms of developing young goalies over the last number of years, Kelly.
Fast, we thought. Last year we heard lots of good things about Victor Fast. Of course, he's now with the Edmonton Oilers, but I think it's because of the development of Anderson.
Anderson, just the third goalie in the history of the NHL to get 9 wins in his first 10 NHL games. Here comes Cassian on the wing out front. Tipped on goal by Schrader. Stopped by Anderson. What a great chance for the Canucks. Zach Cassian back to the line. Bieksa. Stick broke. Still got through. Steered aside. Raquel races over to it and clears the zone. Stanton knocked down at center ice, gets back to his feet, pops it up to Winnick. He'll work it in. Raquel joins the rush. Winnick's pass deflects back to the line, and it's poked out to center by Sestito. Robida feeds it ahead, chipped in. Bieksa slowly back to it. Both teams finish off a change. Kevin Bieksa looks up ice. Sestito tipped the puck in, and he'll head off to complete the change as the puck's cleared back to the neutral zone. Garrison fed it in. Kessler has to tag up. Francois Beauchemin to it. Now Ryan Getzlaf takes control. Out to center. Kessler behind him. Getzlaf fires the puck in. Garrison bumped by Perry, makes a play to Burrows. Higgins, now Kessler. Over the line, cuts to the right. Kessler with a shot. Pad saved by Anderson. Got the right leg out. Getzlaf quickly up to Perry. One-on-one on Garrison. Turns on the boards. Perry flips it to Bonino. Checked by Hamhuis. Burrows takes control. Over to Garrison, and he'll clear it out off the glass. Scoreless game, 6.5 minutes in. Black will leave it behind the net for Dan Hamhuis. Part of a group trying to buy the Prince George Cougars of the Western Hockey League.
How exciting for them.
Northern BC native and a former Prince George Cougar himself gets it up the right side. Bieksa off a skate and out to center ice. Mathias tries to get it there. Can't. Chopped back in by Palmieri. Right to Hamhuis.
Eric Brewer's a part of that group, right?
He is. Another former Prince George Cougar. Spiza feeds it back into his own zone. Lovejoy over to Spiza. Chip it ahead. Tipped in by Big Patrick Maroon. Edler back to it. Nick Jensen over there in the far corner. Spiza pinches from the point. Perreault comes in to help out. Bieksa there for the Canucks as well. So is Edler, but Maroon gets the puck behind the net on the forehand. Plays it back to the right side. Vatanen to the line. Spiza winds up with a shot. Scores! Lucas Spiza from the point makes it 1-0 Anaheim.
Lots of traffic in front, and that's why the shot from the point from Spiza gets through. You're going to see Palmieri, I believe, right in front of Eddie Lack. So just a good puck battle right here. Maroon, big body, gets it back to the point. Now Palmieri, you can see 21 right to the front of the net. And I'm not sure if that may hit Kevin Bieksa on the way by. It looked as though it changed directions ever so, yeah, for sure. So not only the traffic, but a slight little deflection in front. That's why Spiza gets the first goal of the game.
From Vatanen and Maroon, 7:36 time of that goal. First of the season for Spiza, snaps a 41-game goalless drought for him. And the Ducks draw first blood in Vancouver as Richardson had a great shorthanded chance early, throws it out front. That doesn't connect. Cogliano back the other way. Koivu back for Cogliano, knocked out of the air by David Booth. Brad Richardson onto it. Weber tied up. Cogliano. Silverberg cuts out front on the forehand, couldn't shoot. Koivu in the corner. Vatanen at the line, poked it away from Booth. Here's Koivu. Back to the corner for Silverberg. Behind the net for Cogliano. Ryan Allen, the first-round draft pick of the Vancouver Canucks. Many years ago, with the puck along the left wing boards. Weak shot, never got through, knocked down by Yannick Weber. He'll take control for Vancouver and try and spring Cassian. Pass never got through, broken up by Allen at center ice. Cogliano there to flip it in. Stanton back for it. Raquel runs into him. Booth runs into Raquel. Winnick winds up with a puck, tied up by Jordan Strader. Having trouble getting it out. Turnover. Bolesky with a shot, never got it through. Gets it back, scores! Matt Bolesky makes it 2-0 Anaheim.
This was just a shift that everybody on the Ducks wanted to win all the battles. So started earlier on with Koivu, but now we're going to see line change. Raquel comes out. Winnick is not going to give up on the puck. Just continue to battle. They keep getting it again right here. Block shot, and then Bolesky just continues to go to the front of the net. But that is just a hard-working shift by the fourth line of the Ducks, and that is why they have a 2-0 goal. You can see the view from the LASIK MD net cam that Eddie Lack had no chance.
So Bolesky gets his 6th, and that snaps a 15-game goalless drought for him, and it's 2-0 Anaheim. Goals a minute, 11 seconds apart.
That's what you want from your fourth line, isn't it, Rick? Just go out there and battle and make it hard on the other teams and occasionally chip in with the odd goal.
Higgins will poke it back to the line. Now the Canucks in a hole. There's Garrison with a shot from the point that didn't get through. Tip wide of the goal. Hamhuis pinches deep into the zone. Behind the net on the other side for Chris Higgins. Watched by Robida. Higgins threw it out front for Kessler. Perry intercepted the pass. Corey Perry lifts it out. A little too hard, and it's going to go for icing on the Ducks. Let's go to Andy Petrillo with an update. Andy. Thank you, Andy. It's 2-0 Anaheim as we approach the midway mark of the first period here in Vancouver. Sean Mathias at center ice. Backhands it deep. Anderson leaves that. Lovejoy to it. How about those saves that Anderson made early? Keeps the Canucks off the scoreboard, and then 2 quick goals by Anaheim.
He only had to make 3, but they were actually spectacular. 1 was spectacular, 2 were very sharp.
Alex Edler in deep. Mathias helping out. Palmieri battling Edler. Lovejoy there as well. Big Sean Mathias cut off by Palmieri. And Maroon is able to clear it out to center ice. Daniel Sedin comes over to get the puck. Fires it in. Richardson just off the bench, heads into the forecheck, with Lucas Spiza there first. Over to Lovejoy. Now Palmieri tips it in. Ducks start a change. Yannick Weber back for it. Weber heads up ice. Fires the puck in and around. David Booth. Battles Botman along the boards. Cassian there as well. Behind the net. Richardson checked by Brian Allen, but Booth gets the loose puck. Behind the net for Richardson. Cassian in the corner. Koivu anticipates well, then gives it right back to Booth. Trying to work it off the boards with a shot. Didn't get through. Richardson can't get the rebound. Taken away. But Booth able to get it back. Good work by Booth. Cassian turns to the forehand. Booth in the corner. Richardson's out front. Cassian doesn't have a shot. Looks for some room. On the backhand, never got it through. Cogliano cut it off. Cassian gets it back to the line. Stanton shot saved. They score the rebound. That line does it again. It's 2-1.
Well, you can't control your rebounds all the time. What I thought was a fairly harmless shot from the point by Ryan Stanton. Gets through. It doesn't look like there's much traffic. It's going to go right to the point. Booth is out of the sight line, and I think Anderson was worried about a deflection from Booth, and that's why he didn't worry as much about his rebound. Goes right onto the stick of Richardson. We have a 2-1 game, and the Canucks are back into it. But when you're worried about a possible deflection, you're not really thinking all that much about where you're trying to put your rebound in case the deflection isn't made, and I think that's why it was an average rebound from Anderson.
10th of the season for Richardson. Much like the Anaheim goal, Kelly, the Canucks were able to keep the play alive. The Ducks had trouble clearing the zone, and sure enough, it led to a goal. Richardson gets the goal for the Canucks. Stanton and Cassian with the helpers as the Ducks ice the puck.
And like you said, nobody's surprised by that line. So let's take a look how we got to this point. All 3 goals, not even 12 minutes into the game. Spiza, long shot. I think it's deflected along the way. Then Bolesky follows up. Nice little back pass right there. And then Stanton, the long point shot right onto the stick of Richardson, and it's 2-1 the Ducks.
Shots are 5 apiece. There's Winnick at center. Hamhuis breaks that up, takes the puck inside his own line. Kessler at center ice. Chips it in. Gets after it himself. Higgins now. Turns in the corner, trying to get Burrows out front. That was broken up by Raquel on a good play coming back, but he gave it away to Kessler inside the blue line. He didn't have it for long. Bolesky winds up with control. End of his shift, dumps the puck in and heads off. 12 minutes gone in the first. 2-1 Ducks, and back they come with that top line of Getzlaf, Perry, and Bonino going to work. But they play it in. Offside called on Anaheim. We get a whistle. 7:54 left in a lively first period. The Ducks lead the Canucks 2-1 in Vancouver on Hockey Night in Canada.
Patrick Maroon with an assist tonight cracked the Anaheim roster this season thanks in part to inline or roller hockey, which we'll explain in our Subway Restaurants bio. He's from St. Louis, which is a hotbed for inline hockey. Began playing at the age of 5. It led him to the on-ice version of the game. Not sure those pants ever quite caught on, but Maroon didn't give up inline hockey, eventually helping the U.S. national team win gold in the 2010 World Championships. And he says he probably wouldn't be in the NHL if he hadn't started out in rollerblades.
Those pants caught on in the Rudy wardrobe, didn't they? You still got a pair of those hanging in the closet.
No. I think you have to be David Lee Roth to wear those.
Doing those scissor kicks on stage. 2-1 Anaheim leading, 7.5 left here. Perry out front with a chance off the post. Another chance by Perry, and that goes wide. May have nicked the post on the far side as well. Two great chances for the top line for the Ducks. Perry again. Getzlaf with room. Shoots. Never got it through. Getzlaf races to the puck with a weak backhand. Lack down, able to make the save. Play continues. Ducks buzzing. Getzlaf. To Spiza. Perry down low. Getzlaf's out front. Corey Perry with a shot. Put it wide. Bounces to Lovejoy. Into the corner for Bonino. Getzlaf. Watched by Kessler. Bieksa steps into Getzlaf. Kessler able to get the puck. And he feeds Higgins, who brings it out. Higgins over to Edler. Tripped up through center ice. No call. Play continues. Lucas Spiza in his own zone. Lovejoy. This is Perreault down the right wing. Palmieri with him. Pass broken up by Matthias. Turns to his forehand. Makes a nifty play to Nick Jensen. He'll bring it out with Daniel Sedin. 2-on-2 over the line. Jensen lost the puck. Brian Allen cut him off in the corner. And Patrick Maroon will work it back the other way. Chips and chases. Palmieri on the forecheck. Andrews going back. They bump. Daniel Sedin gets control and he'll clear. A bouncer at center. Jensen almost stole it away from Allen. Daniel gets control. Trying to cut out front on the forehand with a shot. Allen blocked that. The rebound bounces high in the air, hopping around. Garrison trying to get a shot to the goal. Penalty coming up. Vatanen was high stick by Richardson, and the Ducks about to go on the power play as Anderson heads off for the extra attacker. Brad Richardson touches the puck, and Anaheim with a man advantage for the second time in the first period. Ducks up 2-1 on the Canucks, and they'll get a chance in the power play. And we come back to Vancouver on Hockey Night in Canada. Kelly, Brad Richardson in the box for this.
This is pretty obvious here. Vatanen going for the puck, and Richardson just clips the visor. Vatanen, and then Corey Perry generates a lot of scoring chances from down low. Here's a great example. Comes out from behind the net. One shot hits Lack in the post, the other wide. But how about this good job by Bieksa to come in? Not many guys knock Ryan Getzlaf off the puck. That's an excellent job by Bieksa. Granted, Getzlaf was a little off balance, but nonetheless, that was a determined play by Kevin Bieksa.
Take your game to the next level with Hockey Night's second screen. Interact and compete for prizes. Be a part of our broadcast. Join us at cbcsports.ca/second screen. Second power play of the game for the Ducks. They're 0 for 1. No shots on that first power play. Talked earlier about Anaheim's power play, considering they're one of the highest scoring teams in the league, Kelly.
Yeah.
Just 20%, or excuse me, 20th in the league at 16.5% of the man advantage. Any theories?
Well, sometimes my experience tells me that when you have these kind of players, this kind of talent, they expect it, and if it doesn't happen, instead of simplifying, they get even more creative or too fancy, if you will, and don't put as many pucks to the net and make a real simple play.
Well, they'll go to work here. Vatanen, who drew the penalty, able to keep the play alive in the offensive zone. Will set it up at the line. Works the point with Getzlaf. There's a shot by Perry, blocked by Garrison, and chopped out to the neutral zone by Kessler. Higgins trying to get after it. Sammy Vatanen able to break that up, and Ryan Getzlaf leaves it behind the net. Getzlaf to center. Maroon over the line. Garrison watching him. Puck skates along the boards. Andrews in the corner, knocked down by Maroon. Garrison comes over to help. Maroon still battling with Getzlaf, flipping it behind the net. Higgins first man to it, though, makes a play off the boards and down the ice. Quick up to Perry, tips it in for Maroon, but Bieksa off the bench, able to hustle in and break up that rush. And Bieksa, good work down low, able to fire it all the way down the ice. He was a question mark tonight after getting banged up on a big hit by Landeskog in Colorado the other night, but looks fine so far, Kelly.
I was very surprised this morning at the skate when he was out there, and actually he looked pretty good. I was expecting a guy to be limping around on the ice and not very effective. Old school player, though.
Ducks set it up on the power play. Second unit out there. Boschman at the line. Over on the other side. One-timer stopped by Lack. Rebound shot wide by Bolesky. Fed back to the line to Boschman. His shot deflects off Kessler wide of the goal. Palmieri knocked down on the slot, gets back to his feet. Puck goes to the end boards. 23 seconds left in the power play. Edler wins the battle, fires it down the ice.
Some real good defensive plays by the defensemen of the Canucks on this penalty kill. You could basically say everybody in some way was a part of this kill, and there's only 5 seconds left.
And that should do it as Hamhuis fires it in. Just one shot on goal in the power play for Anaheim. Still up by a goal. 4 minutes left in the first period. Koivu to a loose puck, checked by Hansen. Richardson's out of the box. Garrison at the line, able to keep the play alive. Silverberg took it away, and he'll clear the zone to center ice. Dan Hamhuis popped it up for a moment. Silverberg falls awkwardly into the boards. Hamhuis on top of him. Fished out by Richardson. Hamhuis with control, puts it off the glass to center ice. Lovejoy there for Anaheim. Now Cogliano trying to work it in. Fires it deep. Hamhuis back, up the boards. David Booth will take it there and carry to center. Kassian with him on the rush. Booth gets around Vatanen. Kassian's up front. Booth with a shot. Rebound. Kassian couldn't get a stick there. Ryan Allen broke up that play on the rebound and swatted the puck aside. Now Winnick working the puck over the line, but they're going to blow it dead on offside call on Anaheim with 3:01 to go in the first period. Post call for the Canucks, but they still trail 2-1 on Hockey Night in Canada. Kelly, some good work on the penalty kill by the Canucks tonight.
Jason Garrison was really effective on that PK because he took away the time and space often from the Ducks. There's a good example of it on Perry, and then Maroon has a puck, and Garrison's not going to give up on it. Just a good, honest battle right there. Read a play, know when to get your stick in there. And then Booth recognizes Vatanen was going to step up on him right there. So he just pushed a puck past the defender and used that great speed and had that excellent scoring chance because he recognized what the defenseman was going to do.
Inside 3 minutes to go in the first period. Ducks up by 1 as they chip it in. Winnick heads after it in the forecheck. Raquel there down low for Bolesky. Battling in the corner. Stanton winds up with the puck for Vancouver. But he gave it away to Vatanen on the near boards with a shot glove saved by Eddie Lack, and he's able to hang on.
John Tortorella was talking about his team and how well they're playing lately, and he really believes. And I know it's a long shot, but when you're under these conditions or in these circumstances, you better make sure everybody around your organization believes. And even though it looks to people like us on the outside that it's a long shot, I like his positive outlook.
4-1-1 their last 6 games, 5-2-1 their last 8. They were disappointed not to get the full 2 points out of Colorado on Thursday, Kelly.
Well, they probably outplayed them.
Yeah, well, and it was a good road trip. They played back-to-back nights against Minnesota and Colorado, got 3 or 4 points, but the margin for error is virtually 0 right now for the Canucks as the puck goes out of play. Watch the skaters perform 3 of the judges in the ISU World Figure Skating Championships Exhibition Gala from Japan. That's tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, CBC TV.
Boy, that's a beautiful view, isn't it? I just, as you know, you live here, but I get to visit here often, and this is just a beautiful, beautiful city to come to.
Yeah, you get spoiled sometimes when you're here, but you go away for a trip, come back, and you realize it is a beautiful place.
No question about it. Love going around the park and get a little bit of a workout in.
Inside 2 minutes to go in the first. Bieksa in his own zone. Popped it up to Getzlaf, but got help from Kessler. He can't get it out there. Bonito trying to feed it out front. Perry was all alone for a second at the top of the crease. Pass never got through. Here's Bonito. This pass deflected by Higgins. And Burrows will bring it out to center ice. Alex Burrows chips and chases. Anderson out of the goal. Plays the puck to the corner. Bieksa runs into Getzlaf. Burrows comes in to get the puck. 3 out front. Shot wide of the goal off the heel of the stick of Kessler. Higgins behind the net to Burrows. Back to the line to Hamhuis. Other side to Bieksa. Slap pass to Higgins. Tipped on goal. Pad saved by Anderson. Perry comes away with the puck late in his shift. He'll chip it up the boards into the zone and head off on a change. Giveaway to Maroon as Bieksa coughed it up for a moment. Patrick Maroon, nice play down low. Perreault trying to spin out front of the backhand. Maroon with a shot off the glove of Lack wide. Into the final minute of play in the first. Anaheim looking to restore their 2-goal lead. Hamu steps into Perreault. There's Maroon. He's had a good first period, but Kassian winds up with a puck and finds Booth. Hottest line for the Canucks out there right now is Booth. Knocked down on a hit along the boards, able to shovel the puck into the zone. Now the gloves are off. Maroon and Kassian. They talked in warm-up, and they're going at it. Maroon in an awkward position here, spiral on backwards. Now the linesmen jump in and break it up. That was definitely odd. Kassian able to throw a couple.
We noticed this right away in warm-up, so started there. There's a lot of conversation, if you will, shortly after the players made their way onto the ice, so I'm not surprised at all that we had a bit of a confrontation here. Kassian certainly had Maroon in an awkward position this play, so there it is, and you can see they're both willing at that point, but then he gets in a really bad spot right here, Maroon. He's just desperately trying to protect himself, and the fans here in Vancouver didn't like that very much with their reaction.
I don't know that I've seen that before, where Maroon had a hold of Kassian, but Kassian had his other arm behind him and had him turned backwards.
But I really don't blame Maroon at that point when you're in such an awkward and prone position. Try and get out of the way, try and protect yourself somehow. And it looked kind of awkward, but I think the right move was made by Maroon.
And give Kassian some credit for letting up as well.
Absolutely.
Neither play, they got 2 minutes each for roughing, so not 5-minute fighting majors, and that means 4-on-4 hockey in the final 30 seconds of the first period. Winnick out to center ice. Puck fired in by Saku Koivu. Weber goes back. Ryan Stanton. Pressured by Koivu. Stanton almost gave it away, but able to one-hand it ahead to Weber. Out to Daniel Sedin. Tips it in. Anderson out of the goal. Chops the puck to the boards. Daniel knocks it down there. 5 seconds left. Battle in the corner. And that'll do it. That first period comes to an end. Anaheim out shooting Vancouver 8-7 through 20 minutes of play. Anaheim with a 2-1 lead after 20 minutes in Vancouver. Back in Vancouver, we're going to start the second period 4-on-4 because Maroon and Kassian are still in the penalty box, and well, a 15-minute break between periods hasn't cooled them off.
Did you expect it would?
No, it started in warm-up today.
All right, let's watch when they come out of the penalty box then in a minute 28.
I've said it before. A timekeeper has got to write a book one day. Some of the stories from some of the things those guys hear between the penalty boxes.
That'd be hilarious.
Be an outstanding read.
Absolutely.
2-1 Anaheim leading. Ducks trying to tie a club record for most wins in a season, which is 48. They did that in 06-07 and of course went on to win the Stanley Cup that year. And they have the lead here as the second period's underway. This is Alex Edler back for it. Carry on him. Bieksa to Kessler. Ryan Kessler. Edler up on the rush. 3 Canucks over the line. Edler trying to get it out front. It goes off Perry and off the base of the post. Corey Perry kicked that puck accidentally towards his own goalie, and it went wide. Close call early for Vancouver as the top line for the Ducks tries to go to work in the offensive zone. Getzlaf with a nice play back to the line. Lovejoy to Spiza with a shot. Blocked by Kessler. Got a stick in the way of that, and he's able to clear. Hops past Lovejoy. Higgins trying to get around him. Lovejoy takes him down. That'll be a penalty on Anaheim. Not much choice for the Ducks defenseman, and the Canucks get their first power play of the game.
Chris Higgins has had a real impact so far in just over the first 20 minutes, not quite 21 minutes, and again using his speed on this play right here. And Lovejoy knew he was in trouble. So there's Higgins, great speed, great effort, little bit of a bump. Then talked about the play that Corey Perry almost knocked it in his own zone or own net. Accidentally, that's a pretty hard kick.
I think Anderson got a piece of that, and it's a good thing he did, Kelly, on that replay. Looked like it might have gone in.
There's no question about it. I think he tried to kick it up to his stick, but much harder than he had hoped or expected.
Canucks power play still 27th in the league, but they have scored 7 power play goals in their last 9 games. Up against the 20th ranked penalty kill. They'll go to work here. Daniel Sedin in the right circle. Back to the point to Weber with the slap shot. Pad save Anderson. Rebound in the corner. Kessler over to it. Yannick Weber had a power play goal against the Avalanche on Thursday. Kessler, Weber, Kessler, Weber, Daniel, Weber, Kessler, Weber, Daniel. Fans want a shot. Side of the goal for Burrows. Hopped over a stick, got it back. Pressured though, gave it away to Boschman. He'll get it up the boards. It's fired down the ice by Bonino. Canucks lots of passing. No shots as they work it back in. Kessler down the wing. Threw it out front for Burrows. He was tied up. And the puck is cleared. Winnick gets it down the ice with 1:10 left in this Vancouver power play. Looking for the equalizer with a man advantage early in the second period. Daniel Sedin. Ryan Kessler still out there. Fires the puck in. Ryan Allen gets control behind the net. Checked by Kessler. Does some good work there to steal the puck back. Spiza hassling Kessler. There's Daniel in the corner. Back to Kessler. Daniel. Lost it in the skates with the referee. Got it back. Leaves the puck for Higgins. Kessler at the line. Higgins. Bieksa. Kessler for the one-timer. Glove save. Anderson able to hang on.
Easy save for Anderson from that long one-timer from Kessler, but here's what the Canucks had. They had some real good pressure, good puck movement, but at some point when you're on the one-timer here, somebody's got to shoot it. Whether up high, it's Weber or Kessler with Burrows right in front. This is what Burrows does great. This is what his job description is. Get in front, make it hard for Anderson. You can see how hard it was for Anderson, but somebody, it's their duty when you have the puck now, put it at the net.
Yeah. Anaheim's penalty kill box kept collapsing. They got it tighter and tighter and they wouldn't shoot the puck.
Totally.
25 seconds left in the power play. Bieksa back at the line. Over to Edler for the one-timer pad. Saved by Anderson. They've been going wide anyway. The puck's played off the glass and down the ice by Bonino.
And then two examples right there. They're near the point. Kessler on the one-timer, then Edler on this recent one. Whereas before, like you said, they're in so tight. Shoot one of those.
Canucks dump the puck in. Penalty comes to an end. Canucks did get 3 shots on that power play, but still trail 2-1 as Lovejoy's back on the ice. Joins the play as a forward coming out of the penalty box. Bonino lost the puck. Edler works it back to the blue line. Hassled by Getzlaf, who winds up with control. Finds Bonino at center ice. Over the line with Lovejoy. Bonino with a shot up high. Put it over top of the net. Puck ricochets around the boards and out. Laid offside on the Ducks. Puck clears the zone. Koivu onto it. Puts it right back in again. Here's Bieksa. Bank pass to Hansen. He'll chip it around Bottman and head after it himself, but Allen gets over to take it away. Ryan Allen, 4th overall pick by the Canucks in '98. David Booth able to steal the puck, cutting out front, lost control of it. Here's Richardson with a shot. Anderson makes the save, and he's able to hang on. And Booth, Richardson, and Yannick Hansen out there with a chance for Vancouver looking for the equalizer.
Hansen joined that line on this rush, but it was all just good down low play again and real determination right here. Booth keep his feet moving, get a chance, shot's going to be blocked, and then Richardson to spin around. Pretty good chance, but that's a good effort right there. Hansen getting a chance on that shift in place of Cassian, but sure we'll see Zach Cassian back on that line.
Cassian out right now with Schrader and Sestito on this line. Cross to Weber. Played it out front. Schrader, Weber in the slot with a shot. Stopped by Anderson. Sestito sniffing around for a rebound that never came. And there's a bit of shoving with Lovejoy. And then Maroon comes over and has a chat with Tom Sestito.
I would think before the game is over, we're going to see those two guys go at it. There's just been too much stuff going on, starting in warm-up and then at the end of the first. Tom Sestito doing a real good job standing in front of the net, though, making it hard for Anderson. Look at the battle right there. Lovejoy, Sestito. Canucks really getting a lot of traffic in front right now and trying to make it awfully difficult for Anderson to follow that puck. And it's been real good trying to look around all the traffic.
Shots 12-8 in favor of Vancouver. Getzlaf's way. Bonino comes in to take the draw. Talking to Bruce Boudreau about Nick Bonino. He's really good eye hand, good with the stick, he said. Not the greatest skater in the world, but he wins puck battles because of his great stick work.
It's been in well
here.
nicely with Getzlaff and Perry in this game, too. They were together last night versus Edmonton.
He was saying if Raquel can settle in as that fourth-line center, they're going to be able to use Benito on the wing and getting a chance again to play with that top line. 19 goals this year for him. 5 was his previous career high. Here's a chance for Lovejoy. Fan on the one-timer, hopped off and sticking out. Lovejoy back to it. And around the boards to center ice. Kessler controls. Garrison tipped in by Hamhuis, who was up on the play. End of his shift. Lucas Spiza opened the scoring in this game in the first period, but tied up in the corner by Daniel Sedin, who gets the puck down low. Trying to bank it in off Anderson, who reaches behind him. Where's the puck? It's under the goaltender. And he's able to hang on for a faceoff. 2-1, Anaheim leading Vancouver. Let's go back to Andy Petrillo with an update. Thank you, Andy. 2-1 Anaheim. All the scoring in this one came in a few minutes in the middle of that first period so far anyway. Canucks unsuccessful in an early second period power play. Ducks work it in. Here's Bolesky with a shot and lack out the challenge, able to make a save.
Well, the Canucks just had a good chance prior to this shift right here. Daniel Sedin's going to come out of the corner, and he thought he saw something right there that Anderson had maybe left something open, not protecting. It looks pretty good right there, but then I think Burrows came in and jammed away at the puck, and Anderson was unsure if he had kept that out. So good combination from Daniel Sedin and Alex Burrows to go hard to the net from the corner. That's where you can score or generate a lot of scoring opportunities.
Alex Burrows, we've talked before, he's been more beat up than Evel Knievel this season with all the injuries, but he finally snapped that 40-game goalless drought not that long ago against the Winnipeg Jets with 2 goals. They went on a 5-goal and 4-game tear. It's amazing how that works once that confidence comes back a little bit with that scoring touch.
But you're right, it's not been a fun season for him. Just injury-plagued season.
Most recent one, a thumb injury courtesy of a whack by Shea Weber a few games ago. He missed 1 game with that one. Had a broken thumb on top of that, a broken foot, a broken jaw. Here's Bieksa with a shot from the point. That whistle's just wide. Bolesky has a goal in this game. Threw a hit on Edler as the puck goes to the corner. Bolesky knocks it down. Nice play to Boschman. He'll feed it ahead, and out they come through center ice. Raquel chips it in. Winnick trying to get after it. Edler plays it away from him. Bieksa turns. Edler behind the net. Ahead to Daniel Sedin. Kassian now onto the puck. Checked by Botman at the line. And the Ducks dump it in as both teams make a change. Cogliano on the forecheck. Bumps Bieksa deep. Silverberg, looking like he might have got a stick in the mouth as he went down along the boards. Gets back up. Play continues. Richardson in the corner. Zach Kassian. Extending his point streak to 4 games with an assist on the Vancouver goal. Takes the puck at his own line. Puts it in for Richardson. Penalty coming up to Brian Allen. Got in the way of Richardson. It'll be an interference call on the Anaheim defenseman. Canucks will go back on the power play. They've outshot Anaheim 6-1 in the second period, looking for the tying goal, but the Ducks lead 2-1 on Hockey Night in Canada. Ducks on their second power play. Former Canuck Brian Allen in the box for interference.
Good speed right here by Richardson. Allen at that point has to step in, and there's the interference penalty. Now we're going to see Zach Kassian on the far side. Gets a stick up on Silverberg. No penalty. Can clearly see that Silverberg is definitely cut on the chin. Bruce Boudreau not going to be happy. No call on that play. Boudreau wondering why that was missed. I must say, it did happen pretty quickly. I thought that Kassian may have got a stick in there. I did not see it strike Silverberg, though.
So the Canucks on the power play, second opportunity for them, 0 for 1, 3 shots on that early power play in this period. They trail by a goal. Garrison out of his own zone, ahead to Higgins. He'll chip it in. Higgins, Burrows, Kessler, Garrison, Weber, the power play, but the Ducks able to clear. Jason Garrison back to it, the White Rock native. Works the puck to center for Kessler. Ohio State Buckeye dumps it in. Canucks will set it up now. Yannick Weber retreats to the line. Over to Garrison. Patience. Weber. Alex Burrows back for Weber. Garrison, one-timer. And stopped by Anderson, and he's able to squeeze the puck under his pad long enough for a whistle.
No real surprise that the Canucks are trying to set up Jason Garrison for that wicked one-timer he has. There's an attempt right here, and he doesn't even hesitate. Excellent save by Anderson. Why are we not surprised? Well, this morning at Canucks practice, they worked a lot on the power play, and they had lots of chances. Garrison, just the long bombs. They had backdoor plays from Bieksa, but of course, that's the shot they were trying to set up a lot this morning in practice. You've got a big shot like Jason Garrison. Let's get the puck to him.
Here's Bieksa with a one-timer that whistles wide. We've got Bieksa and Edler on the points now. Daniel Sedin, right wing boards. Edler at the line. Wrister to the goal, and Anderson never shot, but it hit him right in the crest and falls to his feet. He's able to cover up for a faceoff.
Canucks are doing a good job, like I said earlier, about getting traffic in, and it's awfully difficult for a goaltender, especially your first year. You're trying to learn how to play the North American game and just trying to understand everything. Lots of traffic, get pucks to the front of the net. Edler just lost that one, but as you said, Rick is in good position.
48 seconds left in the power play. Daniel Sedin, good job to win the puck battle. Back to the line to Edler. Fakes over to Bieksa. Back to Edler for the one-timer. That missed. Stick side on Anderson. Bieksa stands his ground and keeps it onside. Here's Burrows trying to hit Daniel out front. Pass broken up. Winnick takes it away. Can't clear the zone. Mathias will keep it in, but Winnick was taken down. And the Canucks go into the box. That'll nullify the final 25 seconds on the power play.
Sean Mathias up set, thought this was just a puck battle right here. I think John Tortorella has the same words for the officials right here. Just, it's hard to tell. It looked to me like Winnick was kind of off balance and had fallen. It looked to me that it was just a pretty good puck battle right there. Mathias getting 2 minutes or less for hooking.
So we'll play a short stretch of 4-on-4 here, and the Ducks will go on their third power play. They're 0 for 2 so far tonight, assuming there are no more penalties. Shots are 15-9 in favor of Vancouver, but the Ducks lead 2-1. Win the faceoff. Back to the line. Fed across by Robic out of Beauchemin with a shot. Blockered away by Lack. Garrison. Pressured in the corner. Matthew Perreault with help from Cogliano, who winds up with a puck but had his stick lifted, and Richardson able to take control and skate it out to center. Cogliano hassling Brad Richardson, who has the Vancouver goal in this game, and the Ducks now on the power play as Brian Allen steps out of the box. He'll go to the bench. Richardson wheels down the wing. Carries in. Cuts wide. Throws a shot on goal as he pulled to the forehand, and Anderson hugs the post and makes the save. Just one shot in their 2 previous power play opportunities. Third chance for the Ducks in this game. They cough it up inside the line, and Higgins able to dump it all the way down the ice. 1:10 left in the Mathias penalty. There's Kessler on the forecheck on the penalty kill, but Getzlaf able to pick his pocket. Comes out to center. Perry and Maroon with him over the line. Here's Perry. Wrister towards the goal. That's broken up by Bieksa. Edler gets the loose puck, and he gets it out to center ice. Botnick couldn't keep it onside. He retreats to his own blue line. Past the 9-minute mark of the second. And some sloppy play at the line by the Ducks, and the Canucks break that up easily and get it down the ice. Here's Maroon on his own blue line, turning. Long pass up the right side for Sammy Botnick. All he can do is poke it in. Dan Hamhuis. Yannick Hansen back. They get it loose. Daniel Sedin takes control. He'll skate it out over the line himself. Cut off by Maroon at center ice. 24 seconds left in the power play. Given away to Hansen, but Maroon stole it back. Sets up a possible 2-on-1. Here's Perreault with a shot. Lack makes the save, and he's able to hang on.
Brad Richardson, what an impact he's had lately for the Canucks. Here's a good little rush right here. Now he's going to go to the front of the net. Excellent chance right there. I think most people thought going to behind. Now here's a good play by Bieksa. Richardson, by the way, has 4 shots tonight. Right there, the puck is going to Maroon, and then Perreault. Good patience right there. Excellent positioning by Eddie Lack.
Face-off win. Lovejoy has to kick that off his skate. Didn't have time to get it to his stick for a shot, so he shovels it down low. Here's Bolesky. Perreault in the slot. He's tied up. Canucks break out. Penalty's over. Mathias out of the box. Could be a 3-on-2. Burrows carries in. Forced wide. Ducks able to recover. Cut off Burrows. Puck goes to the corner. 2 shots for Anaheim on that power play. Still a 2-1 Ducks lead past the midway mark of the second period. And now the Ducks ice the puck. Is in behind the play. Lovejoy and Burrows come together. Richardson in there as well, but
game heating up
fairly quickly.
Yeah, game heating up nicely. Like some of the one-on-one battles, and one is Jason Garrison and Matt Bolesky. See an example of it right here. Bolesky's a good, honest player anyways. And you're going to see these two guys are going to go at it because you don't like it. Now Lovejoy and Burrows are going to go at it, so these guys don't like each other, and that's my kind of hockey.
Lovejoy looked like he was attempting to suplex there for a second. On Alex Burrows is off the draw. The Ducks were able to clear the zone of center ice, backhanded in, and they'll change up after that icing call. Ryan Stanton back pressured, but gets some help from Yannick Weber. He finds Zach Kassian out to center ice. Booth couldn't knock it down. Stanton gets control again. Yannick Weber, Zach Kassian. Popped it up. Here's Cogliano with room off the wing and a shot. Put it wide. Looks short side. Missed the net. Puck went off the boards and out of play. 9:17 left. Second period. All the scoring in the first. It's still 1 Anaheim on CBC.
Around here is focused a lot on the future. Nick Jensen's already here, and next season 1 or 2 of these prospects should challenge for a spot in Vancouver. All 4 of Bo Horvat, Brendan Gaunce, Cole Castles, Dane Fox are tearing up the OHL playoffs. Most intriguing of them's probably Fox. Twice passed over in the draft, scored 64 this season. Canucks signed him in December. He's got a quick release, plays with an edge. He's part of a promising group of prospects. First time in a number of years the Canucks have had one, Rick.
That's right, Scott, trying to replenish the cupboards with some of the youth that the Canucks have missed out on when they were trying to win it all. Absolutely. With a veteran team, and got rid of some draft picks. Here's a chance out front. Koivu scores on the backhand. A beauty for Saku Koivu, his 10th of the year, and the Ducks make it 3-1.
Cogliano started to heat up here in the second period. And he's going to make a real good play from the corner. He's going to throw it to the front of the net. Well, they get on the forecheck first, but then Cogliano going to get the puck and quickly throw it right to the front of the net. Winnick can't get it, but he knows that Koivu's going to go to the front in the slot. There's an excellent pass from Winnick, and then Koivu just buries out with a nice little backhand. But John Tortorella not very happy knowing that that is a huge goal to give up. 3-1 down now, even though you've outshot them 16-12.
Winnick and Cogliano get the assist. Talk about slump busters tonight. Spezza gets his first of the year. Bolesky ends a 15-game goalless drought. Koivu just ended a 17-game goalless drought. And the Ducks are back up by 2 as the Canucks work it in. Chipped deep by Schrader. Hansen to the forecheck. Postman pokes it away from him. Schrader knocks his man to the ice. Loose puck in the circle. Hansen trying to settle it down. Bumped by Robida. Hansen turns away. Back to the line. Stanton with a one-timer. Put it just wide. Weber will keep it onside. Behind the net, Tom Sestito. Pushed to the boards by Boschman. Ducks able to clear. Hamhuis back at his own line. Trying to hit Sestito. Broken up by Getzlaf. Here comes Bolesky back the other way with a wrister, and Lack makes the save and hangs on.
Time for the Crown Royal Icebreaker. Why not try Crown Royal Maple on the Rocks? Crown Royal, the official whiskey partner of the NHL.
So 17 games without a goal for Saku Koivu. He gets one tonight. Ducks up 3-1. 8 minutes left in the second period. Canucks not getting much help on the out-of-town scoreboard. On the last check, Minnesota had taken the lead on Phoenix. Dallas beat St. Louis today. Icing called on Vancouver.
That's quite a big win by Dallas. Playing St. Louis, and we know how strong they are. So after the Koivu goal, John Tortorella is going to have a teaching moment here with young Jensen right here. Jensen's not going to be very happy with what happened at that play, but that is what happens when you're a young player. You're going to make mistakes, and unfortunately, they're going to lead to goals or scoring chances.
Here's a chance for Perry. Speaking of scoring chances, he chopped it wide, then ran over Eddie Lack. Play continues. Lack slow to get up as Corey Perry, where he often goes, right to the crease, took down the goaltender. No penalty on the play. And a rule he was pushed in. Lack on his knees. Looks like he's going to be okay.
The modern-day Glenn Anderson, is that fair to say?
I would agree.
Excellent scoring chances right here. Now, he is bumped into from Garrison, but I guess in that one it'd be pretty difficult for Corey Perry to get out of the way of Eddie Lack, but nonetheless, that is the way that he plays, and certainly doesn't let many goalies off the hook. Eddie Lack just getting up right now, so it looks like he's going to be okay.
37 goals for Corey Perry, and he's such a great scorer because he is willing to go there. Now third in goals in the league. Joe Pavelski scored today, so they were tied. What a great player. Hard to believe, you know, when his draft year, the complaint was not a good enough skater.
Didn't they say that about Luc Robitaille?
Yes, I was thinking that very same thing. Former teammate of yours, Kelly.
They're not similar players, but they certainly get the job done.
Here's Getzlaf. Perry trying to cut out front. Poke check by Bieksa. Winds up with a puck. We get it past Spiza and out. Bonino trying to work it in. Almost got in home free. Lost control of it. He's tied up in the corner by Edler. Perry's cut off by Bieksa.
Bonino's been good on this line. Very good.
Could be icing on Vancouver. Vatanen gets there ahead of Higgins, and the whistle blows. Just past the 13-minute mark in the second period. And behind the play, Burrows involved with Getzlaf. And Getzlaf throwing punches on Alex Burrows. This came well after the whistle. Getzlaf with a big size advantage on Alex Burrows here.
Didn't really expect this, did we?
That, if you would have asked me to predict potential combatants in this game, a Getzlaf-Burrows fight probably wouldn't have crossed my mind.
So Bieksa and Getzlaf, I think, started this maybe. It might have been those two involved early on. You can see a little bit of conversation right there. Two guys that aren't going to back down. And then here comes Alex Burrows to help his teammate. I don't know if Burrows needs to do that. I think Kevin Bieksa can handle himself right there. It's a good gesture, but boy, with the season that Burrows has had, that's one big guy, 6'4", Ryan Getzlaf.
So it'll be interesting to see how they call this. We're talking to Bruce Boudreau about Getzlaf, and he talked about how big and strong he is. He's not your sort of weight room strong. He's just big, lanky strength. And Ryan Getzlaf.
Boudreau is also saying that when he's on his game, we win. That's how to the point he was about what a great season Ryan Getzlaf is having. Should be in the running for the Hart Trophy. We know Sidney Crosby's having a great year, but also Boudreau was saying, in fairness, Ryan Getzlaf doesn't have many easy nights with the competition. We know how hard the Western Conference is.
Well, this is one thing you have to be concerned about if you're Bruce Boudreau and an Anaheim Ducks fan is Ryan Getzlaf breaking his hand in a fight with Alex Burrows, and you see him looking at his finger there, his fingers after that scrap. And second leading scorer in the league, and some bloody knuckles.
That's right. It's a real concern, and when you get those bloody knuckles, also a risk of infection. Seen it a number of times, so that's also a concern. So I'm sure the trainers, doctors might have a look at that right hand when he goes to the dressing room with under 7 minutes left here in the second period. But it is that concern, isn't it? You have a player and he wants to be aggressive, and I know the one that really comes to mind often for me, Jerome McGinley, such a great scorer, but he certainly had no hesitation dropping the gloves, and that bothered me from time to time, considering the injury risk.
It happened earlier this season when Boston came to town in Vancouver, and he got into a fight with Ryan Kessler and dislocated his finger. He was able to come back in that game, but that's the risk you take, obviously. Again, having a great year with the Boston Bruins. Getzlaf, second in league scoring. Only Sidney Crosby scored more, and I know Boudreau was making the case this morning that because of the strength of competition in the Western Conference, you know, he probably deserves some consideration, even though his point total isn't the same as Crosby's.
And that's with all due respect to the teams that he was talking about in the Eastern Conference. That some of those guys might be playing. But I think just the other fact when you talk about Ryan Getzlaf is just how big and strong he is, and he's almost never knocked off the puck. You know, he plays a different style than Sidney Crosby, but it's that dedication that he found coming out of the lockout about a year and 3 months ago. See the improved numbers for the goals. Always been an effective player, but people will tell you around the organization that he's a much improved practice player, hence the success he's had in not only in National Hockey League but international competition, and just an all-round terrific hockey player.
He and Perry gold medals again for Canada. 5 minutes each for fighting with Getzlaf and Burrows out, so we stay 5-on-5 just past the 13-minute mark of the second period. 3-1 Anaheim leading. Canucks out shooting the Ducks 16-13. And they clear the zone off the draw. Beauchemin at his own line. Maroon tried to tip it in, broken up by Brad Richardson ahead to Ryan Kesler. Maroon took it away. Here's Perreault. In deep, got it out front of the goal into the skates of Palmieri, who chipped the puck to the corner, back to Maroon, watched by Edler. Richardson comes in to help. Palmieri steps into him. Richardson out there with Kesler and Booth right now. Booth with the puck, trying to get it out. Does. Kesler at center. Ahead for Richardson. Brings it in. Booth and Bieksa join him. Here's Booth out front with a shot off of the stick of Beauchemin wide. Bieksa throws it back out front. It bounces off Anderson, and he's able to cover up.
Canucks now trying to generate offense any way you can on this rush. Kevin Bieksa is going to join the play. Booth right here gets his shot deflected, but Kevin Bieksa throws that from behind the net, and that hits somebody on the way, and that's why it made its way into the chest of Anderson. That was a real strange bounce it took, or hop.
Cassian, Schrader, and Sestito out. And icing waved off. Lack out of the goal to play the puck. Stanton pressured by Cogliano. Lack taken down behind the play. Looks like Silverberg's going to head off as Lack goes to the bench. Delayed call. Here's Sestito over the line. Cassian trying to cut out front of the back out of the shot. Stopped by Anderson. Vatanen touches the puck, and the Canucks are going back on the power play for the third time in the period, but they're down by 2 with 5:44 left in the second. Anaheim 3 and the Canucks 1 on Hockey Night in Canada.
The Canucks set to go on the power play. They pretty much have to approach what little is left in this season as though they have to win out while requiring help from Dallas, Minnesota, and Phoenix, and no help tonight as Minnesota beat Phoenix and Dallas beat St. Louis. So after that, the schedule's intimidating with the Rangers here Tuesday night, the Kings a week tonight, then Anaheim again, followed by Colorado, last road game of the season in Edmonton, and the Flames here to finish the regular schedule. So the odds are stacked against the Canucks recovering from that 10-week free fall that started in late December. Rick.
Thank you, Scott. This is the third power play of the game, all in this period for the Canucks. They're 0 for 2. They had 5 shots on goal, though, on those 2 chances. Looking to get back within 1. Final 5.5 minutes of the second period. Kesler gave it away. Stefan Robida, the former Dallas Star who missed 4 months this year with a broken leg, gets it down the ice.
And he's not going to get much of a break either. Bruce Boudreau this morning saying that he's going to keep playing him because he needs games. You know, he lost, like you said, 4 months, and that's a terrible injury to try and make your way back.
Canucks working in the power play. Daniel from his knees makes a play to Kesler. Ryan Kesler on the half boards. Back to the line to Edler. Now Bieksa. Flips it down low. Ryan Allen gets in front of it ahead of Cassian. Daniel recovers. Bieksa works his way to the slot. Daniel Sedin back to the line for Edler. Cassian's in front. Here's Kesler turning away from Koivu. Ryan Kesler, poke check by Koivu, knocks it free. Beauchemin knocks Kesler down, and Koivu winds up with the puck and clears the zone out to center ice. Cogliano there to fire it in, and they'll change up on the penalty kill.
Good penalty killing by Saku Koivu. What experience shown there.
39 years old. He'd be the graybeard of this team if Teemu Selanne wasn't still here at 43. Selanne not playing tonight. Healthy scratch as Booth works the puck in, and he gets driven into the outside of the net. He's okay, but lost control of it. The puck winds up on a play.
Here's that shift I was talking about with Koivu. Just great experience. He read this play all the way. Edler's going to give it to Kessler. Was hoping for a one-timer, but Koivu took that away, and then he doesn't give up on the puck. Gets a stick in there, and then eventually clears the zone with that puck right there. So, boy, was that ever a smart play. You could certainly see that the Canucks are trying to set up that one-timer, and he wasn't going to have any part of it, Koivu.
Garrison out there now, poised at the right point with that big shot with 20 seconds left in the power play. The Ducks win the draw. Bonino able to fire it around and down the ice, and that should pretty much do it. No shot for Vancouver. Maybe one last rush with the man advantage as Garrison gets control behind the net. No shots on that power play, I should clarify. Here's Booth at center ice. Penalty's over as Booth works it in. Around to Lovejoy. Gets the puck to Richardson. Watched by Spiza. Now Booth with a slap shot. Anderson makes the save. And he hangs on.
Good job by this line again. No surprise, Richardson, great energy. Booth, they seem to have real good chemistry. They'll work it out from the corner, get it there, and Booth doesn't even hesitate, just throws it right to the front of the net. Good hard shot right there. Anderson made that look awfully easy considering it was a really hard shot.
David Booth snapping a lengthy goal throughout 32 games. Against Buffalo 3 games ago. He had 2 goals the next game in Minnesota. Playing with more confidence right now.
Sure can tell, can't you?
Koleski out front for Perry. Stick tied up by Hamhuis, who goes hard into the end boards as he lost his balance. Dan Hamhuis awkwardly into the boards. Checking Corey Perry, and Hamhuis on one knee. Looks like he's going to be okay, Kelly, but scary tumble for Dan Hamhuis.
Well, you can see Corey Perry is worried about him. 2 Olympians right there. That was just a accident right there. Perry's going for the scoring chance, and Hamhuis, in an effort to get back at full speed, I think he just trips on the skates of Corey Perry right here. There it is. Yeah. Boy, that was dangerous. Corey Perry knew it right away.
Hamhuis made a nice defensive play.
Yeah, he got his hands up to protect himself.
And over the right leg of Perry into the boards. Dan Hamhuis, a +13 this season, leads the Canucks in plus-minus. And as you mentioned, Kelly, part of Team Canada, winning gold in Sochi. Ryan Allen at center ice, flips it in off the glove of Garrison. He'll go back for it. Round for Hamhuis. He lets it go up the boards to Higgins. Kicks it back. Hamhuis having trouble with it. Forced to play it behind the net to Garrison. Final 3 minutes of the second period. Hansen. Mathias came over in the Luongo trade. Mathias turns. Down low for Higgins. Played it behind the net for Hansen. Fell down. Taken away and cleared out the center ice. Yannick Weber. Both teams changing. Now Hansen over the line. Hansen out front. Higgins backhand shot. Rebound stopped as well as they whack away. Schrader with the second chance. And Frederik Andersen able to make 2 big saves. It's a night of season finales starting at 8 as Rick Mercer visits the winning schools in the Spread the Net Student Challenge. Then at 8:30, comedian Mark McKinney guest hosts 22 Minutes Tuesday night on CBC TV.
Yannick Hansen setting up this last chance right here with good patience, good vision right here. Canucks going to the front of the net. Just sweeps the puck in front. Schroeder goes for the rebound. Anderson once again. Look how he comes across. There's absolutely no holes there. Nothing in the 5-hole. Covering everything up beautifully.
Stanton back in his own zone ahead to Sestito. Canucks have outshot the Ducks 12-5 in the second period, but Anaheim has the only goal. And Sestito steps into Palmieri with a big hit in front of the Anaheim bench. Now Sestito works the puck over the line, trying to get it out front. Knocked down, gets it free to Kassian with a shot. Pad saved by Anderson. Kassian in the corner. Still working for the puck. Finds Schrader. Back to the line to Weber. Weber with a long shot. Put it wide. Bounces hard off the end boards. Robidas lost his stick. Kassian gets it back to the line. Canucks pressure. Looking to cut the lead to 1. Late in the second period. Yannick Weber. Feeds it down low. Kassian looking for the redirect. Couldn't get a stick on that shot. Schrader in the corner. Robida has a stick back. Here's Weber with a wrister blocked. Gets it back. Silverberg steals. He'll work it out. Weber's got to hustle back. Jakob Silverberg down the right wing. Stanton cuts him off in the corner and knocks him down. Minute 20 left in the second. Sestito gave it away at the line, but the Canucks get it back. And it's cleared out. Spiza feeds it ahead. Winning back the other way. Cogliano played it out front. That goes off the stick of Stanton and out of play.
Tom Sestito, of course, is going to use his size. There's a bit of a hit right there. Robida, and then he goes after Palmieri right here. Palmieri shaking up a little bit from that one. Zack Kassian's going to follow this up with a nice chance. You can just see the late reaction right there from Anderson. He just picked it up at the last second. Kassian used the defenders as a screen. Boy, am I ever impressed with Anderson. What composure. 24 years old.
Out of Denmark, he's been great against the Canucks this season. Here comes Booth with speed. Booth trying to cut out front, got a shot away, put it wide. He was cut off by Lovejoy, and the loose puck sped down the ice. Cogliano ices it as we've hit the final minute of play in the second period.
Talked about the scoring streak he's been on lately. 3 really good chances in this game for Booth, and using that tremendous speed that he has. But what a play by Lovejoy to just get his stick in there and make that shot go wide. But boy, is he a different player right now when he's feeling good about himself.
Well, they had Booth off, or rather Kassian off this line for a few shifts, but he's back out there now as Richardson battles for the puck. Knocked down by Corey. Here's Booth with a shot. Anderson able to see that all the way and make the save. Talk about this line and the streaks that they've been on, Kelly, and they've been producing for the Canucks. I think a big part of the reason why is Brad Richardson has been playing so well since his return from his injury. I don't think it's a coincidence that Booth and Kassian have both been able to produce some points.
Tortorella was raving about Richardson earlier today, talking about, boy, has this ever been a big acquisition by our team, and he does so many things well. You can obviously see that he skates well, but I think his patience and his vision when he has the puck, a couple other qualities he has.
And he's their go-to face-off guy as well. And on the bench now, though, as the Canucks keep the play onside. Burrows and Bieksa battle in the corner. Bonino down low for the Ducks, knocks it free. Ryan Getzlaf takes control, puts it off the boards and out. Another icing call coming up against Anaheim. Edler slowed down a little bit, but 25 seconds left. Well, second period.
Good news if you're an Anaheim Ducks fan. It doesn't look as though Ryan Getzlaf is having any problems with his hand. He was able to stick handle okay there that last shift, and of course not showing any discomfort. So like I said, the doctor and trainer will take a quick look at it, but he'll be good to go for the third period.
He might have wanted a 5-minute break in the penalty box. He played 27 minutes last night in Edmonton. Back-to-back games. Shot from the line, deflected on goal. Anderson had to be sharp to make that save. Here's Hanius getting it out front. That's intercepted by Getzlaf. He'll work it back the other way. Bonino joining the rush. Getzlaf over the line. 5 seconds left. Cuts to the middle on the forehand with a shot. Pad saved by Lack as time ticks down and the second period comes to an end. That close to being a 3-goal Anaheim lead. Lack with a big late save, Kelly.
Getzlaf knew he had very little time on the clock, so make sure you get a chance on net right here. And Lack makes a save with just about 2 seconds left, 3 seconds left. So good effort. I like the idea that Nick Bonino going to the side of the net as well.
Canucks out shooting Anaheim 22-14, but the Ducks get the only goal that second period, lead Vancouver 3-1. Scott Oak with Corey Perry next on CBC.
In Vancouver, the Canucks down by 2 to start the third, and according to assistant coach Mike Sullivan, must approach this period like their season is on the line. Nothing new there. Canuck coaching staff's not displeased with their team's effort 5-on-5. Clearly, they require more to their power play, and Sullivan says generally they have to make it more difficult on Frederik Andersen, who looks like he's on his game tonight. Rick?
Thank you, Scott. Bad news is the Canucks are the second lowest scoring third period team in the league. The good news is for Canuck fans, they have 12 third period goals in their last 8 games. As they try to battle back in this one, trailing by 2. Edler, nice pass to Higgins. Burrows with him, Kessler as well. Chris Higgins blew a tire in the corner as Lovejoy took the puck away. Bonino on the far boards, able to chip it to the line. Burrows can't keep it onside. Alex Edler at his own line. Now Kessler works it in. Tries to feed it across. That goes off a leg and out. Poke back in. Jensen can't get there. Lovejoy takes it away. Silverberg slides the puck into the zone. Dan Hanius almost coughed it up. Got it back. Circled the net. Nice pass to Jensen. Matthias and Daniel Sedin with it. Here's Nick Jensen trying to cut out front with a shot he fanned. Boschman takes control. Calmly plays the puck out to center ice. Silverberg dumps the puck in. Heads off on a change. Hanius back. Skates the puck out himself. Flips it ahead off the stick of Matthias. On goal, Anderson covers up and hangs on.
Daniel Sedin's pretty quiet tonight. Not generating many scoring chances, if any. See limited ice time tonight, just over 10 minutes. Season average is 21:02, so here in the next almost 19 minutes, we'll see how much he gets, but he's been a real non-factor tonight, and we'll see. Just doesn't look like he has much energy left.
Missed 9 games with that injury suffered in the Heritage Classic as Lack covers up the puck. And, you know, his comeback, I think a lot of people are surprised he got back as soon as he did, Kelly, after that ugly fall into the boards. But you look at the numbers this season, and boy, it's been a tough go for him.
It sure has. A number of Canucks fall into this category right now where their numbers are continue to dwindle down, and we talked a lot about Alex Burrows too, about his unbelievably tough luck season, and Daniel Sedin, of course, probably not very happy with the season he's had as well.
And Henrik injured as well now. Yeah. A couple of times this year, the Ironman streak over as the puck goes out of play, but they let it continue. Normally when it hits that curved portion of the glass, they blow it dead, and now they finally do.
Sedin on a line tonight with Matthias and Jensen. And I know that John Tortorella is telling me Daniel does like playing with Matthias a lot. He's a good energy guy, and just seems to have a little bit of chemistry anyways with him. He'd prefer, of course, to play with his brother, but Matthias is a good option.
And he'll be joining you and Scott on After Hours. Teemu Selanne as well coming up on the After Hours program tonight. Selanne, a healthy scratch in back-to-back games, is expected to play when the Ducks return to Vancouver in 10 days.
I think a lot of people, Rick, a lot of people are awfully inspired watching his performance in Sochi.
And getting a warm reception around the league, and what, although we've said this for a couple of years, keep expecting him to retire, but he keeps coming back. But I think this is going to be it for the 43-year-old.
Could see the look in his face in Edmonton, or I'm sorry, in Calgary, when they had a little tribute in the scoreboard for him and the applause he received. It looked as though it really affected him.
Dan Hanius took a scary fall to the boards in that second period, but looks to be okay. Works it ahead. Kessler will chip it in now, and that goes off the glass and out of play.
Bruce Boudreau and the Ducks, as you said, they can match their season high for wins. Boy, this has been a good game for them tonight. This is like the game that they played in Anaheim versus LA, and then 2 nights later for that stadium series in Dodger Stadium. Those 2 games, they were just a dominant team. I know it hasn't been as easy going for them the last, say, month and a half, but tonight is an excellent game.
Yeah, 4-4-3 in their last 11, just 4 wins, but they played well tonight, and with a win because San Jose lost earlier today, the Ducks will move into first place in the Pacific Division. Here's Robidas at the line. And that puck goes out of play off the stick of Nick Bonino. Just past the 3-minute mark of the third period.
So 2 big boys going at it here. Ryan Kessler going to go after Ryan Getzlaf. 2 big bodies, very similar players. It's just a good effort by Ryan Getzlaf, or Kessler right there. But that's the way these 2 guys play. They're real rugged players.
Man, you wonder what the future might hold for Ryan Kessler. Lots of chatter that he might have been moved at the deadline. That didn't happen, but could have happened in the offseason. Will he stay in Vancouver? Sean Matthias came over day before the deadline in the Luongo trade. There's a shot from Weber from the point that didn't get through. Blocked in front again. Daniel Sedin gets the puck as the Canucks look to pull it in. 1 out front for Matthias. Couldn't redirect it on goal. Stanton pinches. Puck squirts free. Cogliano takes control. He'll drop it off behind the net to Beauchemin. Francois Beauchemin, lead pass, trying to spring Silverberg off the wing. Stanton hustles back, cuts off the pass out front before it got through to Cogliano. Daniel Sedin will feed it ahead. Brought in offside by Mathias at the Anaheim blue line.
Canucks a little bit of pressure in Duck zone right here with Mathias line. Daniel Sedin trying to set him up. Watch Beauchemin in front, though. He's going to recognize that Mathias is a dangerous guy, so he just gets his stick right in the slot on the stick of Mathias, and that's why Mathias couldn't get his stick on the puck. So right there, excellent read by Beauchemin. Hey, look, that guy's right in front. I bet if the puck comes to him, might be a little bit dangerous. I better guard against that.
Beauchemin paired up with Robida as a pairing. We're talking to Bruce Boudreau about Robida coming over. They're trying to find a guy that he works well with. He thinks that that could work, but so far it's been a work in progress.
Well, the first game they weren't very good together, so he's put him back again tonight, and it's been much better, I'd say.
Zach Kassian plays the puck back into his own zone. Garrison's there. Dan Hanus sweeps it ahead. David Booth. Pass to center, broken up by Maroon. Palmieri at center ice. Knocked off his stick. Now it's cleared. Deflected in. Dan Hamhuis goes back to it. Ducks changing on the fly as Hamhuis brings the puck out of his own end. 5 Ducks back. Hamhuis over the line to Booth. Tried a shot that deflected off Palmieri in behind the net. Kassian trying to get there, can't do it. Spiza knocked it away from him. Kassian pokes it free in the corner. Bieksa's in deep. Maroon battling with Bieksa. Kassian there as well. Richardson taken down as Spiza got his stick into the skates. Play continues. Ducks feed it ahead. Chipped out by Palmieri. Alex Edler back at his own line. Kevin Bieksa. Edler. Past the 5-minute mark of the third. Canucks down by 2. 3-1 Anaheim. Shot by Edler wide. Rips around the boards. Winnick there to clear the zone. Tipped in by Hansen. Spiza back. Hansen throws a hit. Jars it loose. Winnick trying to work it off the boards. Got it free. Raquel got it out. Took a bump from Sestito. Bolesky works it over the line with a shot off the stick of Bieksa. Bounces off the Emboar glass to the side of the net. Tom Sestito finally gets control. Took a hit along the boards from Winnick. Schrader comes back to help out. Now Bieksa ahead to Sestito. Leads the NHL in fights this season. Tom Sestito, 19 scraps this year. Ducks work it in. Schrader puts it behind the net to Garrison. Watched by Bonino. Jordan Schrader over to it. Now they come. Here comes Hansen through center. Hansen working on Robida. Robida stands him up on a good play defensively for the Ducks blue liner. And they're able to clear the zone. Getzlaf after the puck at center. Back he comes over the line. Feeds it left side to Perry with a shot. Pad saved by Lack, and the rebound goes to Schrader. Ahead to Burrows, through center, long pass to Higgins down the right wing. Garrison joins the rush. Out front for Burrows, and that's broken up by Beauchemin. Hanus, good job to keep it onside. Pushed off the puck by Getzlaf. Beauchemin in the corner, plays it over the other side, and it's controlled there by Sammy Vatanen, who lifts the puck up the center ice. Knocked down by Garrison. He'll wheel over the line with a slap shot, put it wide. Higgins trying to pick it up off the boards, can't. Poke check by Cogliano, and out he comes. Now Perry works it in. Perry back to Koivu, to Perry, backhand pass, cut off, locked down, they scored! Corey Perry able to jam it in. It's 4-1 Anaheim.
Just works his magic, doesn't he? Can work down low, he can be good off the rush. Corey Perry gets up. Doing everything well. This one was Cogliano setting up to Perry. And Koivu came off the bench on a line change right there. And instead of firing that one-timer, had the wherewithal to get it down low back to Corey Perry. He tries to throw it in front. Hits Jason Garrison. And I think that Perry ended up still knocking that rebound in. We'll get a better look of it right here. There it hits Garrison. Yeah, Perry comes in there and finishes it off.
38th goal of the season, back into a second-place tie with Joe Pavelski in goal scoring in the NHL. Only Ovechkin has scored more.
He's been really dangerous from the start of this game, too.
Koivu and Cogliano with a helper. 6:45 time of that goal. 3-goal lead, the biggest of the night for Anaheim as Anderson steers that puck out of play. 12:49 left in the third period. Ducks 4, the Canucks 1. Corey Perry, the latest to beat Lack on CBC. Latest goal by the Ducks off the stick of Corey Perry. He's one of the top goal scorers in the NHL this season, but prior to that, the 3 previous goals all breaking slumps for Anaheim players.
Yeah, you can kind of see why. You know, these aren't household names, so to speak, but Spiza with the long shot right here hit something in traffic. You can see how many games he's been without a goal, 41. Then Matt Bolesky, good hard work right here, 15-game slump broken. And then Saku Koivu having a terrific game defensively, snaps a 17-game goalless drought. So it's a feel-good game for the Anaheim Ducks right now.
And a beautiful glove save by Eddie Lack on that rush. Keeps it 4-1 as Lack fired out the mitt and stopped Palmieri with an opportunity.
Well, this is a good save by Eddie Lack for a number of different reasons, simply because it's a good save, but the other one, he's not giving up. So at this point, down 4-1, learning experience for him. He's got to learn how to battle through. That's what experienced NHL goaltenders do on a consistent basis, and be easy to hang your head, but you can't.
4 goals on 18 shots against Eddie Lack as Frederik Andersen scoops up the puck. He stopped 23 of 24, and in 3 games against the Canucks has only given up 3 goals.
Well, Brian Hayward, the color analyst for the Ducks, and I were talking in the second intermission about Andersen, that he just thinks he's going to be a terrific goaltender down the road. You know, Brian Hayward has worked a lot with Hockey Night in Canada, and so I respect his decision, his ideas. Yeah. Wonderful guy.
Really, a goalie working on Hockey Night in Canada. Who would have thunk it? There's a poke check at the line by Bolesky. Gets the puck outside the zone. Following up is Raquel. Works it in deep. Desperation time for the Canucks now, and part of the reason why they're giving up chances like they are is they're throwing everything they can trying to get back in this one. But Anaheim with the goal here in the third and a 3-goal lead as Ryan Stanton takes control. Finds Richardson. Booth racing in on the right side. Puck goes behind the net. There's David Booth. Took a hit there from Brian Allen. Knocked him down. Richardson gets the puck to the line. Bieksa, Stanton. Or make that Weber, excuse me. Lost the puck at the line. Hops off his stick and out to center ice. Stanton dumps it back in again. Allen goes to it. Vatanen having trouble with the puck. Took a hit on the boards from Richardson, but Ducks able to clear. Good draw away there. No icing. Dan Hamhuis behind his own net. Clyde Smithers, BC gets it ahead to Daniel Sedin. He'll carry out the center ice and lift it in. Wide of the goal. Boschman back. Up the boards. Matthias cut it off. Back to the line of Hamhuis. Over to Garrison for the one-timer. Didn't miss by much. Daniel got it up front. Anderson down. Somehow able to keep it up. Out of the net as they jammed it on goal. Jensen couldn't put it home, and the Ducks were able to clear. And now we get a whistle. Close call there as the scramble around the Anaheim net. Somehow Kelly stayed out.
Well, Anderson's a battler, so Garrison's going to have the one-timer. It's going to deflect wide. Daniel Sedin thinks he can get the puck over to Jensen, but that's just athleticism by Anderson, not giving up on the play. See how quickly closes off the 5-hole, and then at that point it's just battle and try and keep your eye on the puck. Boy, is he ever focused. Saw that in the early part of the game. Made 3 really good saves first 5 or 7 minutes, Rick, to keep the Ducks in it, and then they scored the 2 quick goals. So it's been excellent from start to finish so far.
Tested early on a shorthanded chance for Brad Richardson when the game was scoreless. A couple other saves after that. Anaheim opened the scoring, made it 2-0, and have never trailed in this one as the Canucks iced the puck. Just past the 9-minute mark of the third. 4-1 Anaheim. Canada has voted for the best of the best. Find out who will go home with a grand prize of $250,000 on the season finale of Recipe to Riches. That's Wednesday night, 9 o'clock on CBC TV. '39-year-old Saku Koivu facing off against Kessler, who wins the draw. Higgins trying to get out. Lovejoy stands him up with the line, but Burrow's able to clear the zone as he finds Bieksa at center ice. Kessler with him. Bieksa to the forehand with a shot blockered away by Anderson. Kessler in the corner. Bumped by Lovejoy. Bieksa comes in to help out. Puts it behind the net for Higgins. Spiza able to chop it away from him. Burrows battles. Takes down Silverberg. It's going to be a penalty on the Canucks. Alex Burrows headed to the box. Anaheim going on the power play.
Well, Alex Burrows is a little bit too aggressive here, going in on a bit of a puck battle right here. Silverberg as well. You can see there's no question Burrows reaches in and takes down Silverberg, but frustrating night for sure for Alex Burrows. And right now it's trying to play out the clock. You know, they're going to try and jump in and get as many chances as they can, of course, the Canucks, but you can just sense frustration now.
Ducks 0 for 3 on the power play, just 3 shots total in those 3 chances. 4th opportunity here. Scott Oak asking Corey Perry between periods why their power play is struggling. They didn't have an answer, especially when they're the second leading team, scoring team in the league. 20th on the power play. Getzlaf has the puck in his own zone.
Sometimes it's just good or bad luck too.
Here comes Perry. Maroon behind the net. Hamhuis anticipates well, steals that pass and clears the zone down the ice. Sammy Vatanen back for it. Now Bolesky off the bench to join the power play. Getzlaf. Cross. Perreault works the puck behind the net, watched by Alex Edler. Perry comes in to help out. Bolesky there as well. Perreault doing some jousting with Bieksa away from the puck.
There's not a Canuck in front of the goal line.
Here's Perry. Back to the line to Getzlaf. Getzlaf with a wrister. Never got it through. Blocked in front by Edler. Rebound corralled by Bolesky. Getzlaf. Bolesky. Cross-ice pass. Perry in the corner. Couldn't handle it. He gets it back to the line. Vatanen. Getzlaf. Vatanen. Corey Perry. Nice pass to Getzlaf. Out front for Bolesky, and he couldn't get a shot away. Fanned on a great setup by Getzlaf, and the Canucks clear it down the ice. 20 seconds left in the power play. Past the 11-minute mark in the third. 4-1 Ducks lead. Jannik Hansen steals a puck late in the penalty kill. Knocked away from him. Matt Bolesky carries out the center ice. Koivu and Silverberg with it. Silverberg on the line with a long shot on goal. That's stopped by Lack, who's able to hang on as the penalty comes to an end. 8:21 to go in regulation. It's the Ducks 4 and the Canucks 1 on Hockey Night in Canada. Vancouver 8:21 left in the third. A welcome to the viewers who've been watching the LA-Winnipeg game. Kings winning that one 4-2. It's 4-1 Ducks leading the Canucks as we check the close-up, the Hockey Night close-up brought to you by Subway Restaurants.
And Corey Perry been in the middle of a lot of stuff today, beginning with the warm-up. And then, of course, doing what he does extremely well, getting scoring chances, a little bit of abrasive player, I think you might say, with some of these plays right here. But, boy, he just seems to be in the middle of everything and generates so much offensively and causes a ruckus out there often.
He's always involved, it seems.
Yep.
And that goal was the 38th of the season for him. He's tied with Joe Pavelski for second in goals in the NHL. And the Ducks are in control here. Desperate Canucks team. Not getting much help on the out-of-town scoreboard, and this loss is going to hurt any slim chances they might have had unless they can come back in the final 8 minutes. In terms of a playoff spot, they won't be mathematically eliminated, but every point they squander is another nail. Shot from the line goes wide of the Vancouver goal. Cogliano puts it behind the net to Koivu. Back to the line of Oshman. Canucks get it out. Cassian, bank pass. Richardson trying to catch up to it. Beaten to the puck by Robida. Drops it off for Beauchemin. Back to Robida. Winnick fires it in. Lack out of the goal. Plays the puck to Garrison. A little miscommunication there. Lack recovers. There's Tom Sestito. He'll lift it out the center ice to an open wing. Jannik Hansen racing over there. Spiesa cuts him off. He opened the scoring back in the first period. Lucas Spiesa did. Here's Raquel back the other way with a wrister that's blocked by Garrison. Looked at Raquel in the corner. Garrison takes it away from him. Finds Hamhuis behind the net. Dan Hamhuis skates the puck ahead. Long lead pass for Jannik Hansen, who chips it in. Spiesa back. Hansen hits him. Sestito feeds it back to the line. Bieksa with a long shot into traffic. Never got through. Sestito gets it back in the right corner. Now Bieksa hopped off a stick to center ice. Canucks have to regroup back in their own zone. Both teams start a change as Hammy speeds it ahead. Bieksa still out, chips the puck in. Anderson side of the goal, able to cover up for a faceoff as we throw things downstairs to Scott Oak.
Rick, Teemu Selanne scored a lot of memorable goals in his career. This was one of them back in 1992-93. It broke Mike Bossy's rookie scoring record. Of course, he went on to 76. Shot down Bossy's record on that day, and kids all over Manitoba celebrated goals they scored for a while that way afterwards. He'll join Kelly and me on After Hours, and maybe the 43-year-old superstar will thank Kelly for helping to get him headed to the Hall of Fame. And Sean Matthias of the Canucks will also join us.
That's very funny, Scott. But I do admit I made a lot of guys rich over the course of their careers.
There's a high stick by Sean Matthias, and Perreault goes down. Matthias goes to the box, and the Ducks with a 3-goal lead go on the power play with 6.5 minutes left in the third period.
Well, at this point, in the season where the Ducks are in the standings, clearly going into the playoffs, this is a good point to start working on your power play and really pay attention. Even though you have a 4-1 lead, put in some work and make sure that you try and keep building towards getting that power play on track. As you said, 20th in the league going into this game. This could win you a game or win you a series in the playoffs.
0 for 4 tonight, 4 shots, 5th opportunity. Matthias sits. Ducks go to work with a man advantage. Getzlaf, good job to keep it onside. Perry feeds it down low to Maroon. Big Patrick Maroon works in the corner. Behind the net. Bank pass intercepted. Burrows brings it out shorthanded with Richardson. Here's Brad Richardson to Burrows. Burrows with a shot. That's blocked by Getzlaf. Felt that one. 2-on-1 the other way. Perry works it down the wing. Perreault with it. Pass to Perreault. Out front. Scores. Perreault puts it under Lack. It is a power play goal. The Ducks take a 5-1 lead.
On the PK, of course, the Canucks, when they have the puck, they're going to try and be aggressive and try and cut into that lead. That's what happens. Here's a shot block right here by Getzlaf. Now it's a 2-on-1 with Perry and Perreault. Now I thought Perreault put himself out of the play. I thought he was a little bit too wide. And then when he came in on Lack was unsure what was going to happen. He thought he was awfully wide, and now he's going to open up. You can see his stick gets out of the way. And so that was, let's say, the first bad one for Eddie Lack, but under the circumstances, you can see how it's a very, very tough game now to try and power through mentally.
As the puck goes out of play, the Ducks take a 4-goal lead. 5:49 left in the third. Anaheim 5, and the Canucks 1 on CBC. Perreault's power play goal set up in part by a Ryan Getzlaf block, but Getzlaf, Kelly, has left the game.
You can see as soon as Burrows had taken the shot, hit Ryan Getzlaf in the shin or the ankle, inside of the right ankle. And so, not sure if it's precautionary, but he is going to leave right here. And we'll keep our eye on that, see if he does make his way back. Not sure why they'd want to with 5:45 left in the third.
And a 4-goal lead. 5 goals on 20 shots by the Ducks. Beat the Canucks 9-1 last time they played in Anaheim.
That was another game in which Frederik Andersen was brilliant. That was a much closer game than the score would indicate, although the Ducks had 6 power play goals that game, the most in any game this season in the NHL.
Finally got 1 tonight. 1 for 5 on the power play, that last opportunity. Perry and Getzlaf with the assist on Perreault's goal, is 18th of the season. And he's got an 8-game point streak going with 6 goals and 11 points in that span. Matthew Perreault. Bruce Boudreau saying he reminds him a lot of Andy McDonald, and that's why when Teemu Selanne plays, they play him with Perreault a lot, because of course he had some great chemistry with McDonald back in the day.
No question about that. And when you play with a guy like Selanne, I mean, he's a speedster, and if you have that kind of player, excellent hands by Perreault, by the way. Always has been that clever with the puck.
There's Bieksa working it behind the net. Richardson trying to get it out front. Took a hard hit on the inboards. Bieksa winds up with the puck. Throws it on goal. In traffic. Anderson down. Able to make the save. And he hangs on. Just to clarify, 6 goals, 9 points for Perreault in that point streak he's got going right now.
Even though they're down 5-1 now, Kevin Bieksa is still trying to make a lot happen. finds himself down below the goal line again in the offensive zone. This one he's just going to throw in front, knows that Zach Kassian is right there, but good body position by Boschman to box Kassian out. No chance to get to the rebound.
27th shot at Frederik Andersen. He stopped all but one. The Canucks have faced 20 at their end. 5 have gotten by Eddie Lack. There's a shot by Edler off the draw that didn't get through. Bieksa will try on the near side. Flips the puck to Jensen with a shot on Andersen there to make the save, and he hangs on again.
We've been raving about Andersen and the impact he's had in this. First of all, we're going to see the Palmieri block shot right here, and similar to Brian Getzlaf, he's still feeling that.
Palmieri stays on the ice, though, right off the draw. Mathias able to sweep the puck towards the goal. Another save by Andersen. Brian Allen controls for the Ducks, and they're able to get it out as Bonino sweeps the puck to center ice. Vatanen dumps it in over the head of Bieksa. Lack stops it behind the net. Eddie Lack, 16th straight start for the Canucks. Another chance. Puck played out front of the goal. A little too far for Perreault. Works it back to the line to Vatanen. Down low now for Bonino. There's a one-timer. Palmieri stopped by Lack. Bonino gets the puck behind the net. Bieksa watches. Bonino turns. Checked by Edler. Flips the puck to the corner. Bieksa's over there to pick it up. Edler will bring it out. Skates around Perreault. Edler over the line. Knocked down by Brian Allen. Puck kept onside by Higgins. No, they're going to rule it came out, and the whistle blows. 3.5 minutes to go in the third period.
Vancouver Canucks have had 29 shots, and this young fellow, 24 years old, has had such an impact, making 28 saves. Here's his pregame routine, and then he has just been lights out from the start of the game, never giving up on pucks, and he's had a huge impact on the outcome of this game. Even though it's 5-1 score, if you look at the box score, you'd think, oh, it must have been a pretty easy night, and it hasn't. The Vancouver Canucks have had a lot of glorious scoring chances, and he's just fought his way through this game, making 28 saves.
A couple big ones early in the game when it was scoreless, and the Ducks get a pair of goals a minute and 11 seconds apart midway through the first period, and have never trailed. Although the Canucks did make it 2-1 after one. The Ducks have scored 3 unanswered goals, 1 in the second, 2 here in the third. They're in control of this one in the final 3 minutes. Burrows down the wing, backhand shot, a bouncer on Andersen, and he'll take no chances. Hangs on to that one as well.
Eddie Lack has had a really strong season for the Vancouver Canucks. It hasn't been as easy, though, after the trade of Luongo to Florida. You look at the numbers, spectacular goals against average and save percentage. Not so much after trading, but it's a different kind of pressure when you are the guy and you don't have the support behind you. And it weighs heavily on you. Eddie Lack seems to be a pretty easygoing guy, though. I think at some point he'll find a way to handle that pressure, but it certainly is a different animal when you are counted upon to be the guy.
Still doing the same job, but somehow the dynamic is different enough that mentally it's a bigger challenge.
It totally is.
You're the guy they're relying on without that safety net of Luongo around. There's Mathias working the puck in. Daniel Sedin with him. Jensen as well. Mathias back to Weber with a one-timer blocked by Brian Allen. Out front for Jensen. They jam away, and Andersen steers that aside. Mathias to Stanton with a shot wide. Back to the other point. Shot by Weber. Blocked away by Andersen. The rebound goes to Cogliano. He'll feed it out to center ice. Palmieri dumps it in wide of the goal. Eddie Lack had a couple of tough outings right after the Luongo trade. He's been better since.
Yeah, he has.
Tonight, maybe not a great example of that as the puck's knocked down with a high stick.
Boy, these are tough times for the Vancouver Canucks. I think the faces show it all. This is a time in which it's getting more and more bleak, and it just weighs heavily on everybody. That's a bench that's not having a lot of fun. And you're searching for answers, and you feel good going into games, and you think you're doing some of the right things, and then you find yourself with 2 minutes to go down 5-1.
Winnick brings the puck over the line offside.
Sticking with Eddie Lack, though, Rick, you're talking about how it's a different animal when you're the guy and you don't have the experienced guy helping you along. For the first 5.5 years of my National Hockey League career, I had Billy Smith working alongside me. That is a great feeling to know there's a 4-time Stanley Cup champion. I'm going to wrestle him for that #1 job, hopefully, and eventually get it. But I also knew all along that Billy was there for me, and we had such a good relationship that way.
I think they have confidence Lack can be a very good #1 goalie in this league, but he's still learning. It's easy to forget his numbers were so good when Luongo was here, and in part made that trade possible. Not that it wasn't going to happen anyway, but I think the fact they had a guy they thought was developing into a starting goaltender made that a lot easier to move Luongo when they did. Although who would have thunk a year ago when they had Schneider and Luongo that at this point they'd have neither?
Not me.
I don't think it went down the way anybody expected it to. Final minute 15 of this one. Cogliano just inside the line. Raquel trying to spin out front, broken up by Dan Hamhuis. Final minute of play in the third. Zach Kassian at his own line. Back to Bieksa. Alain Vigneault and the New York Rangers up next for the Canucks. That'll be on Tuesday. Silverberg at his own line. He'll dump it in. Lack out of the goal. Leaves it behind the net. Jason Garrison there. Higgins tips it in. Anderson plays the puck. Botman behind the net. Watched by Kessel. Bolesky in the corner. Lifts it high. Almost hit the scoreboard. Drops right inside the line onto the stick of Silverberg. Cut off by Garrison. Ryan Kessler coughed it up. Inside 10 seconds to go as the Ducks just retreat to center ice. Watch the final seconds tick off the clock. And the Canucks watch their slim playoff hopes fade even more. Ducks come to town and beat the Canucks by 4 goals. 5-1 the final score in Vancouver. Anaheim winning their franchise record-tying 48th game of the season. As we throw things back to Toronto and Ron MacLean.